Do you think that AI will give people more autonomy in their work, or do you think it'll actually restrict their freedom?
What we found with AI inside workplaces is that it's rapidly evolving. Its progress is, it's incredible, really. It's transformational. It's happened very, very quickly. I think for that reason, what we have found, there's an awful lot of fear with regards to AI inside workplaces. There's a fear of kind of lack of control, a lack of awareness, a lack of understanding, lack of training, lack of policies. And I suppose never mind kind of a lack of policies in writing. And I suppose that's what we would be working with people a lot on is, having AI policies in place so that everyone understands, what are the guidelines, what are the rules, what are we using, what can we use it for, the when, where, why, how, all that to make everybody's life easy, which is very, very important from a compliance point of view, obviously, because if someone does something wrong with AI technology inside in a business, it can have very drastic consequences. The big fear, or what was kind of coming, maybe again, this is tied away a little bit, was that, is AI going to take our jobs and all this kind of thing? There was that kind of fear. But I would have always said that was a pile of nonsense because, everything was meant to take our jobs and none of us were meant to be working by the year, whatever, 2010, 2020, 2030. And yes, technology, smart technology, the internet, robotics, machinery, you can go back and back and back. There's always evolvements, there's always progress, and all these things were meant to kind of take our jobs. And yes, here we are in 2025, AI is being used in workplaces. That's meant to take all our jobs as well. And most workplaces don't have enough workers, can't get enough workers. We're at full employment in this country. More people work in Ireland than ever worked here before, 2.8 million. So I never had that fear. I think that's a load of nonsense. What will happen with AI is it will make us smarter. It'll make us work smarter. It will make businesses and workplaces and people quicker, more efficient. And that's all the positive sides of it. There probably is a period of adjustment where we don't know what we're doing with AI, and an awful lot of workplaces and an awful lot of people don't know what they're doing with AI. Maybe, to be fair, can't be trusted with AI. So that's why workplaces do need to be very, very careful. The big issues that kind of, again, I suppose, cross our desk is where AI is used as kind of a shortcut. There isn't controls in place inside in a workplace. An employee uses AI to perform some part of their work or a work task, and it goes wrong. It goes wrong because AI hasn't brought them to where they should have arrived at as an end result, and there's consequences because of that. The other things that come across our desk is where, I suppose, leaders, line managers, or employers don't have the knowledge or the education or the training themselves in AI and feel maybe that their employees are ahead of them. So there's an insecurity about that. So they maybe leave their employees go off and kind of, a bit of trialing or, we need to evolve with this. We can't refuse the AI kind of evolution. But again, there's a danger in that because they have no control. AI can do wrong as well, just as well. It can do good or do positive things. So they're kind of the experience that we're seeing with AI at the moment. I think AI for the future will be in a very good place. But we're in a real kind of period now of trying to get workplaces to realise that maybe they need training. They need to train the line managers. We've just been talking about how line managers were able to manage remote workers. So, how are your line managers going to manage, their teams using AI? Because it is happening and it is going to happen on into the future. An awful lot of workplaces are using AI unbeknownst to them. They're not, it's just naturally happening. These technologies, these advancements are coming into their software, into their everyday working. And again, where you can have, remote working, hybrid working and so on, there's a larger chance that these things can happen, I suppose, without you knowing, if you're not keeping control, if you're not communicating on it, if your line managers aren't comfortable in it. So again, training, education, communication, getting policies in place, not just in writing, but actually sitting down and taking time to know what way AI should be working in your workplaces now and on into the future is very, very important. I do think that in general, people are behind AI. Obviously, it's going ahead of us and we're almost trying to catch up to it. And for that reason, we're kind of maybe running scared a little bit with regards to AI as well, which is a pity because obviously there's so much positive advancements and results that can be got from embracing AI as well.
Yeah. In your opinion, how can workers actually future-proof themselves almost in a world that is just becoming increasingly shaped by AI?
Workers' point of view, there's no doubt they're going to rely on their workplaces to provide training and educate them and so on. And they are going to be guided by their workplaces. I think one of the fastest growing industries in recruitment is AI engineering. So, I've no doubt that our younger people, we will see them going into AI education, AI engineering, and so on into the future. To be honest, to answer your question, I think there's investment needed from at government level, from the state, to ensure that workplaces and perhaps, the older generations that have, are gone past education now are trained and educated on AI so that they're comfortable with it and so on. Because from an economic point of view, from a business point of view, I think that would be a very worthwhile investment. I'm not sure from that point of view, that the government are embracing this in the way that they should be. We should be looking to have an educated society of people and workers in our economy who are comfortable and educated and sharp with regards to AI and the use of AI tools. And I don't think there's enough being done in that area. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see government investment in it.
What's the issue there? Is it an ignorance to it, or is it a case of they don't understand how valuable it's going to be, or is it a case of they know it's going to be just ever prevalent that people are naturally going to learn it anyway?
Yeah, well, I think workplaces will have to catch up. So, I think employers and workplaces don't get enough supports in this kind of area. And it isn't just AI. You could go into well-being, workplace well-being. Workplace well-being isn't just workplace well-being. A person's well-being is from society. It's the whole person. It naturally goes into the workplace or comes back out of the workplace. But yet workplace well-being is only for the employer, never for the state to attach it to, as a public health matter. And I think it's the same with things like AI. If there's kind of training and learning and education that can be done in an area, I think sometimes maybe the powers that be say, let the employer sort this out, let the employer figure it out, pay for the advancement of it, and so on. It's almost kind of I suppose businesses are always looking to evolve, stay sharp, move with technology, move into the future. They're naturally going to do it anyway. Whereas if you look at AI in society, not just in the workplace, obviously an awful lot of the older generations will be fearful of it, won't feel in control, and, won't be trained and educated in it in the same way that our younger people coming up are. I think it's a pity that some of those things are ignored sometimes. I think investment in AI is something that should be done at a government level to make us sharp as a society and make our economy sharp through our workplaces as well.
Yeah, and it's not something I've ever heard being discussed, so it's probably a long way off.
Well, I wouldn't hold my breath, but I'd like to see it.